My computer seems to be doing weird things. Okay, I am live. Sorry, it looks a little dark in here. We'll turn on some lights. Probably should have thought of that before hitting the go live. Okay, good afternoon, all, and welcome to Straight Talkin' Fedora Chic. If you are new here, please, we are a story time / social commentary channel where we discuss social issues of the day, mainly mental health, but not exclusively. If you're into that kind of thing, hey, Captain Fish, good to see ya. So if you're into that kind of thing, please consider subscribing and hit that little ringy thing below. My face is looking kind of dark here. Hey, Lisa. Good to see you. Okay, my face is looking a little dark. Let me get some extra light on. All right. Montreal winter. A Montreal winter, more often than not. Not bright enough in here. There we go. Okay, we can all see my face. So, this afternoon's video, I've been meaning to do something ever since I had caught wind of the Onision 911 call, which, in all honesty, to me, it is quite laughable. It even borders on comical. We will be playing the 911 call for those who didn't hear it or may wish to hear it again. We'll be playing that very shortly. I also wanted to give my thoughts about the Jaclyn Glenn and Chris Hansen interview. I have been missing a lot of the Chris Hansen interviews, but I know Jaclyn Glenn as a creator. I am subscribed to her channel. And while I don't always agree with everything she says or does, I always thought that she did have a good head on her shoulders, that she was a very intelligent young woman. And I wanted to hear what she had to say. And I also knew she had some fairly problematic history with Onision. It's like anybody Onision goes near or touches. I can't even say words I can't even begin to say on YouTube. And there was a new development on Twitter. Hit that thumbs up, people. Yes. Hit that thumbs up. Thank you. So anyways, so there was a new development. Hey, Lily, good to see you. So there was a new development on Twitter this, about 45 minutes or so. For those who know, Repzion had been also covering Onision. He too was one of the first to have been interviewed by Chris Hansen on his YouTube channel, Have a Seat with Chris Hansen. It appears now that the papers for the lawsuit in Washington State, where Onision lives. Okay, Onision is filing a lawsuit against Repzion and Chris Hansen. I'm gonna share this the tweet with you. Okay, just a second. I'm going to share that tweet with you. Just a second. There's something bouncing on my computer that is driving me nuts. Okay, and it's too distracting. Okay, hopefully it's gone. All right. So, okay. Share screen. Okay. So I don't know if you can all see it. It's the top tweet here. It says, "This is really not how I wanted to start 2020, but here we go. After the 24th, I will be creating a GoFundMe for legal fees. Until after that point, please do not donate to any GoFundMes that aren't tweeted by me directly. Receipts will be posted once complete." Okay, so, and then here's copies of, okay, Daniel David Sulzbach. That appears to be Repzion's real name, as you can see. Well, this proves that Kaya and Gregory, James Onision, whatever the heck, I don't know. He changed his name faster than most of us change clothes, okay? But anyways, yeah, as you can see, this kind of puts a kibosh on the whole divorce story. To me, it does anyway. Okay, and so that's the copy of the lawsuit against Repzion, aka Daniel David Sulzbach. And then we have this one for Chris Hansen. Okay, but I would love to know who are the names crossed out? Okay, because like we see the petitioners once again, James, Onision, and Kai, his spouse, but we see some names crossed out. I wonder who they are. Yeah. So, hey Marina. Hey Marina. Yeah. Will it work? I'll get to that. Hey Fluffy Unicorn Girl. Great to see you. Great to see you. Yes, I'm gonna. Hi, Kim, Marina. Let's see who is here. Captain Fish, Lisa Duncan. Um. Okay, hang on. Marina King, Lily D, Fluffy, Fluffy Unicorn Girl, Lily D. Yeah, exactly. Hi all. Okay, as it appears, I don't have any mods for this stream. I'm going. Lisa, would you like to be a mod? Would you like to be a mod? Just let me know in the chat. I will make you arm and dangerous. Okay. Okay. So as we can see, Repzion is being sued. He had explained. You'll nod for me. Thanks. You'll nod for me. Yeah. Okay, Lisa. I'm gonna fix you up in a second. Hang on. All right. Okay. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. All right. Just a second. Sorry. Sorry about this. Technology never was my strong forte. Okay. All right. Because I have to do it through YouTube. StreamYard does not allow me to do this through StreamYard. Whoa. Yeah, StreamYard does not allow me to. I have to do it through YouTube. So hang on. All right. Add moderator. Okay, cool. So let me see. Okay, yes. An observer. Okay. So Lisa, do you wanna see if you have that little blue wrench? That if you can show me. Okay. All right. So yeah, as it appears, yeah, Repzion is being sued. I don't know for what exactly. In those screenshots that I showed you, it doesn't really say for what. Why Chris Hansen. It would explain though, if anybody remembers when Onision called 911 when Chris Hansen and his crew stopped by his home to try to talk to him, there was a lawyer on site. Yes, I remember the channel Deaf Noodle Dennis. He was wondering why there was a lawyer on site. Well, this lawsuit that just came out on Twitter, that would probably explain why Mike Morse was on hand. Mike Morse appears to be an attorney headquartered out of Detroit, Michigan, who was on site in front of Onision's home at the time of the 911 call. Okay. Yes. Oh, I'm glad you're doing better. So you should be revving up tonight. Oh, yes. Before I go on, for those who are coming in late or who may have to drop out early, today is a 2 for Thursday for me. I will be on live again at about 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. Lisa, who is my newest mod, is going to be collabing with me here on this channel. You won't want to miss it. We're going to be discussing what it's like to live with chronic illness, but more specifically, the misconceptions that people have of us. Many of the misconceptions, many of the pet peeves that we have, repetitive questions, and we're going to try and debunk some myths along the way. Should be a lot of fun. So that's at 8 p.m., 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. I will prepare the link after I jump off this stream, and I will be sharing it. So that's 8 p.m. or 9 p.m., 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. Yes. Mods kick out trolls. Yes, exactly. Hey, Kim. Yeah, mods kick out trolls, and they do other things too. They do other things like share links and stuff. Yeah. Ah, right now. Well, yeah, that would be cool. Yes, that would be cool. All right. So back to the topic at hand. So, so if somebody like Dennis from Deaf Noodles was asking why Mike Morse, the lawyer, why was he on site in front of Onision's home when they tried to talk to him and Onision called 911? It's probably because they knew the lawsuit was coming. And that's my guess. This is all speculative at this point, but it would make sense. I'm now going to play the 911 call for those who need a refresher, and we're going to kind of give a reaction to it. It does confirm once and for all that Onision was not the homeless person shacking off at flop houses and tents. And as a matter of fact, he had released a video showing that tent scene was in a garage somewhere. You know, he was never homeless. So that's one thing. Yeah, one lie, just one of the few lies exposed. So hang on. So what we're going to do, this is from courtesy of, okay. All right. Okay, sorry, my computer.
911, what are you reporting? Hi, there's a person who's been stalking me online and they just showed up to my house.
See, here's the thing, stalking. This is a word to me that is starting to lose meaning. And I won't be talking about that in this video. This will be for another video, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and they're outside now? Yes, they're knocking on my door. Okay. And do you know if they have any weapons?
Yeah, microphones and cameras.
They're YouTube stalkers.
Ah.
Okay. But no weapons seen? I didn't see any weapons. I just saw like 6 guys in my driveway and one of them knocking on my door. Okay. Second here. Any weapons on her? And the one that's knocking on your door, is he the main one that you said has been stalking you? Yes, he's a stalker. He's yelling things at me through the doors now. Okay, and do we know his name though? It's Chris Hansen. Okay, Hansen. Hansen, yeah. Hansen. And then Chris. Chris, yeah. Okay, is he white, black?
You know, any bets is that this 911 dispatcher knew who Chris Hansen was? Maybe perhaps remember him from his old show, How to Catch a PRE. Yeah, one of those words we can't say on YouTube. So yeah, PRE, you know, any bets as to how she probably even remembers him from his show on Dateline? Let's go on.
Okay, Jim Hispanic. He's white. Okay, do we know how he is? Older. He's like probably 58, 60. Something like that. Probably 5'10", 5'11". Okay. Then medium or heavy? He's skinnier. What color hair? Blondish gray. Okay. And are you able to see what he's wearing or no? I think he's wearing a black jacket. Okay. I have a security camera. Can you see what color pants? He's wearing a black jacket, black pants. His hair is gray. He's still yelling things at me through the door. Okay, black jacket, black pants. Can you hear what he's yelling? No. Okay. Oh, he's saying, I want your side of the story, Greg. My name's not even Greg. Okay. What is your last name? My name is James Jackson. Okay. Last is Jackson, first is James, is what I heard. Is that correct? Yeah, he's saying I just want to talk through the door. Okay. And what's your date of birth? November 11th, 1985. November 11th of 85? Yeah. Okay, and reach ref callback number? Yeah. Okay, do you have any weapons in the home, James? No, I don't. Okay. And you said that there's roughly 5 more people there with cameras? Yes.
Yeah, armed and dangerous with cameras and microphones.
And do you know what he's talking about, like why he was stalking you or anything like that? Yeah, there's like
I know, hey Marina, I know. It borders on comical, really. It really does border on comical.
Someone that there's an 18.
Okay, why bring Sarah into this? I mean, it sounds like he's talking about Sarah, and other people have said it sounds like he's talking about Sarah. Oh, poor baby. But I'm sure Sarah would be glad to hear that you did never affected her life in a negative way.
Okay, so you said that from YouTube, though. So was it like a show that they do?
He has.
It's a live stream. Yeah, I've already talked to a lawyer about slander and stuff. This guy's really, really hateful towards me.
Yeah, probably, Lisa. Probably.
And are you able to see what type of vehicle they arrived in? No, they parked way down the street, which is really sketchy. Okay. So they're standing out next to my SUV right now. Okay. We're working on getting units out there as quickly as we can. Just go ahead and keep your doors locked. Do you feel comfortable disconnecting the line until we arrive?
Yes, you keep big bad Chris Hansen and his camera crew out.
Okay. If anything changes before we arrive, please call us back, okay? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
He calls back a few minutes later, kids. He calls back a few minutes later.
You're recording? Hi, there's a person who's been stalking me online and they just showed up to my house.
You're right, Artastic Creations. You're absolutely right. And welcome to Straight Talk and Fedora Chic.
I think, anyway. His name is James. His name is James Jackson. His name's not Greg.
Oh, we're getting into... Sorry, Nay. Yeah.
Aujourd'hui, je vous prouve que Skip peut rendre tout le monde heureux.
Okay. All right, thank you. Yeah, he does have. No, I mean, I know Chris Hansen. There were some issues with his assistant Vincent Nicotra. I heard that Vincent Nicotra, as a result, is no longer working with him. I can't confirm that, but this is what I've heard. But yeah, so that would definitely explain why the lawyer was on hand. If I mean, I'm sure Hansen and his team caught wind that he was likely going to be sued. What I don't understand is, like, in Washington State, where Onision is and where apparently this lawsuit has been filed, why would a judge even entertain hearing this case? But then again, I'm a Canadian where these kind of lawsuits are damn near impossible. Okay, to the point where there are no lawyers that specialize in this, because as one lawyer told me a long time ago, they would starve. Here in Canada, they would starve if that was the only kind of law they did. That's how difficult it is to have such a lawsuit here in Canada. Makes it. Je lui no parler le French. Yeah, Negs. Yeah, I'm going to link his video in a pinned comment below just to make sure that he gets credit for the night. I chose his video because it didn't have any logos or anything on the front of it or anything, so that's why I chose his. But I will link his just to give him credit. Yeah, I'm not quite sure, Marina. I'm not quite sure at all. This is why, like anything with this case with Onision, I mean, the more we hear, the more that's unpacked, the more bizarre this gets. And I'm not talking about those fake meltdowns or his faked out bodily functions. Yeah, I'm not sure. He obviously, he obviously has no, you know, it's obvious to me. Onision has no conscience, and I think this 911 call is setting up his own defense. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's retained. Obviously, it seems obvious he's retained a lawyer, which is another thing that kind of disproves his, oh, I'm gone from, you know, rags to riches to rags thing. His whole little match girl story, poor little match girl story, doesn't pan out. Yes, I know he's in trouble with the IRS, or was in trouble with the IRS for tax evasion and such. He did lose his Patreon because he doxed his ex-girlfriend on Twitter, and Patreon doesn't take too kindly to this thing. Also, the latest news I heard last night on the Chris Hansen show in his interview with Jaclyn Glenn, it appears that Onision's Twitch account is gone too. So he can no longer make any more money on Twitch. Apparently, he used to make a lot of money on Twitch. So Artastic Creation says, Onision must legit think he has a case against his stalkers, which worries me. He might think, I'm not sure who his lawyer is or what lawyer, in all honesty, I don't know. But yeah, Lily D, what did you say? Yeah, he did lose his Twitch. Lily D is absolutely correct. That's what we found out last night on the Chris Hansen show last night with his interview with Jaclyn Glenn. That yeah, he lost his Twitch as well. So he just lost another source of income. So that leaves YouTube. And one of the topics discussed with Jaclyn Glenn and Chris Hansen was apparently Chris Hansen was trying to get Susan W. I can't for the life of me pronounce her name. Susan W., you know, the head honcho of YouTube. And apparently she has done collabs on other channels before in the past. So she can't really hide behind, well, I can't go on anybody's channels for reasons X, Y, and Z. She can't really hide behind that. But it's quite, why is she not agreeing to an interview with Chris Hansen? That I'm not understanding. Or at least she sends a representative, has a representative do the interview. Well, Jicky, okay. Yeah. You heard the FBI was going to question Shiloh? Okay. Yeah, it appears, yeah. But anyways, we learned also from the aftermath of the 911 call, because there are some who think that Chris Hansen was doxing. Chris Hansen, Mike Morse, and crew were doxing. They doxed Onision, and you should see some of them, like the chat, like Dennis on Def News. He's been doxed. He's been doxed. No. Okay, Chris Hansen is a journalist. He's a veteran journalist. Granted, probably the rules for TV journalism and versus a veteran journalist using a YouTube platform, I'm sure the rules are different. I don't know how, but this is what journalists do. Okay, this is what reporters do, especially reporting crime, you know, on the crime beat. They want to get all sides of the story. Now, Chris Hansen had already tried a long time ago when he first started Have a Seat with Chris Hansen to get Onision on the show. So Onision, or rather his handlers, had responded that Onision would only go onto the show if Chris Hansen and his people paid them $350,000. Yes, Philip DeFranco at the demand of $10,000 got the bargain basement rate, it appears. Yep. He wasn't. That's the thing. It's not doxing. Yeah, you're probably right. I think Susan, yeah, it is telling. I mean, Jaclyn Glenn, when the interview was wondering why too, because Jaclyn Glenn, and I agree with her on this, if Susan W. were to get out in front of this, I know, you know, if we're to get out in front of this and agree to an interview with Chris Hansen, it would be a far better look for her, in my opinion anyway. It would be a far better look for her than this evasiveness. You know what I mean? But Onision info is a matter of public record. Whatever, with the wetland scandal. Yeah, exactly, Marina. That's number one. Yeah, exactly. It was public record with the wetland scandal. But the other thing is, I took a look at the video myself of the 911 call. Okay. We saw parts of a front of a house and a street. Okay. It looks like it's in a very woodsy area. It's a country road. And we didn't see any street names. We didn't see any landmarks. There was nothing but trees. And the front of the house looks pretty generic to me anyway. And nowhere was the street, the civic address, the numbers, the civic address ever shown. You know, so all we see is the front of a generic looking house. We know it's Onision's place because he went there, but we don't, from what we've seen of that video of the 911 call, there is nothing to indicate that we would find him, right? Yeah. Lisa Duncan, do you have Hangouts or Twitter or Discord? I have a Discord server, Fluffy. I do have a Discord server. And Lisa is a member. Here, I'm going to send you the link, okay? I'm going to send you the link in the chat. All right. Okay, hang on. Hang on, it's coming. Okay, there we go. All right, there's my Discord server. It's a new server. It's only a month old. So if you want to join, we're a group of awesome people. You can either come to vent. You know, it's a safe place. It's for adults only, 18 and up. It's for adults, non-judgmental people to listen, to lend a sympathetic ear or whatever, or just to shoot the breeze or share your artwork, get your meme on. You know, it's a fun place. Lisa and Captain Fish and Lily and Marina are all members. So we'll let them tell for yourself. Artastic Creations. I think the walls are closing in on Greg Onision, and he's getting desperate, and someone needs to get those kids out of the house. I absolutely agree with you there. What are your views on journals such as with ALR? Journals, you mean the books from Walmart? I don't know why I would keep one since I can journal on my computer. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm surprised. Is Child Protective Services or whatever it's called in Washington State, are they aware of what's going on? Do they have Onision and Kai's children in their sights? Don't get me wrong. I'm never for removing children from a family home and putting them in the foster care system unless it's absolutely necessary. But after everything I've heard and these kids are subjected to, for those crying out, but the kids, because of Chris Hansen showing up at the front door, I might remind you that I think the kids go through worse trauma at home. And I'm speculating once again. Yeah. CPS, Child Protective Services. But yeah, so back to the Jaclyn Glenn interview, and Susan W. Yeah, she thinks it would probably, I think it would be a far better look for Susan W., or at least if she's had a representative, be interviewed by Chris Hansen. It is a valid question, especially under the new YouTube terms of service, why there are people who are getting demonetized, even losing their channels for far less, and for what reason? How is it that Onision not only still has a platform, but his videos are still monetized? How is that even possible? Knowing what we know now, how is this possible? I thought about making a YouTube series talking about issues, but then at the same time, I'm not sure how it works. Yeah, it can be complicated, Lily. Absolutely, it can be complicated. Thank you. Yes, if you're liking this stream, please hit the thumbs up. Please hit the thumbs up. Yes. Also, the obnoxious e-begging portion of my show. If you wish to support this channel, I do have a Patreon, and I also have a PayPal. I'll put those links in now, but don't feel pressured. It's just there for those who wish to support the channel. It gets reinvested in the channel And I appreciate all of you anyway. So, okay. I'm not ready to say if Susan is siding with him, Lily, because she hasn't really said anything. She hasn't really said anything. So I don't really want to speculate on that. You know? Just joined Fedora Chick's Discord server, so let me know to Twitter now and grab that from you. Okay. Okay, cool. Cool. Glad you joined our Discord server, Fluffy. I'm just going to call you Fluffy if that's okay, for short, if that's okay. All right. Let me know. So anyways, here we go. So here we go. So just if you wish to support the channel. Okay. So YouTube is making a lot of money off Onision right now. You think so? You think so? I don't know. I know that, I know they make money off of people like Amberlynn Reed, for instance. She is a cash cow for YouTube, but Onision, I wasn't sure. I guess, you know what? Anything's possible. But I think it is telling, and in my opinion, it's really not a good look for Susan W. not to go on with Chris Hansen. Now, back on some other thoughts with Jaclyn Glenn on the show. Jaclyn Glenn talks about when she first met, when she first met Onision. It was back in 2011. They're both OGs of YouTube. And she says back in the day when she first started YouTube, and her content really hasn't changed from what she does. She talks about politics. She talks about religion, social commentary, stuff like that. The odd response video. That's what she does. And apparently Onision was doing the same kind of content, far stretch from Banana Boy song, but okay. So apparently they had first met through a collab they did together with other YouTubers. And I'm going to leave the link to the interview between Jaclyn and Chris Hansen for those who want to catch it in its entirety. But she said she had noticed a few red flags, like apparently Onision would give Kai $100 every time there would be some kind of argument or something. Other disturbing things like they would fight all the time. And one of the YouTubers, one of the people collabing on the video, he didn't like her shoes. He complained that she was wearing high heels and how bad high heels were for posture and arch support or whatever. I can't remember offhand exactly, Yeah, it's true. YouTube gets they do get a percentage of the payment. That's true. That's absolutely true. Yeah. So, hang on. Okay. So anyways, so let me just go to my notes because we all know I have a crappy memory, and then she said, she would go on about how creepy Onision would get because of a relationship she was in, and then when she had to end that relationship and she had to do it publicly, or she felt the need to do it publicly, Onision was once again relentless with the haha I told you so stuff. Like he was like harassing her, and he was like he was getting, he was starting to do videos like shaming her appearance, like she's too tall, too skinny, or criticizing her breasts, like really, really creepy crap. Okay, really, really creepy shit. I mean, there was something wrong with him, and so Jaclyn Glenn goes on. Sorry, I have to stop the cam for a sec. Okay. So Jaclyn Glenn goes on to talk about, their problem, how it became problematic. At the time when she first did the collab with him, she thought nothing of it because this is what YouTubers did, right? And she felt at the time, other than Onision, there weren't too many YouTubers doing the same kind of content or similar content that she was doing. It was basically Onision was trying to order Jaclyn to break off the relationship. At least that's what I picked up from that conversation. You know, and like I said, he was shamed, but it was nothing new. Because the other gross thing Onision was known to do, if you remember, he got all his usually underage teenage girls to write him in with their pictures, and he would do videos basically slamming their appearance. Like, how creepy is that? And I have to wonder, I don't know how these girls were dressed in their pictures, if there were nudes involved, but I have to wonder if this could be potentially a traffic of child porn. Again, another word I can't say on YouTube. This is becoming difficult, Surprised she didn't mention her ex-social repose, but then he's not important in the Onision story. For Jaclyn Glenn, yeah, it was kind of important because he kept, because Onision kept bugging her about this relationship, and then when it ended, he continued harassing her. It was almost like the way I understand it, he did a 180. Like, first it was like, oh no, he's all wrong for you. He's all wrong. And then when they break up, it's kind of like, it was almost like he was sympathizing with him. At least that's what I got. If Jaclyn Glenn were to see this video, she's certainly free, or anybody close to her, she's certainly free to correct this in my comments section. You know what I mean? But this is my takeaway. This is what we're saying. Like I said at the top of this video, these are my thoughts and my opinions, and this is speculation largely in part. And of course, everything is alleged, And what else did she say? Yeah, and what else did she say? So anyways, yeah, so it's basically, he was slamming women. He body shames. It's, ugh. Yeah, and here's another thing, back to the 911 call, okay, where everybody says Onision was being doxxed. Another thing I forgot to mention, Mike Morse, the lawyer, and Chris Hansen sort of did an aftermath. If it was really doxing, or if either of them broke the law by being near the property, it's important to note that the police, never asked Chris Hansen or his crew to leave. They never escorted them off or escorted them away or carted them away, or whatever you want to call it. It is important to note the cops never asked them. And number two, according to Chris Hansen, apparently the cops had said that the local police had said that they had Onision in their sights for a little while now, for some time now. So it probably explained why, maybe the 911 operator did not appear to have a sense of alarm or any sense of urgency, or even a modicum of sympathy for him, But anyways, back to Jaclyn. I know I'm getting sidetracked too easily. I know, bad memory. I gotta consult my notes. Yeah. So, yeah. And so anyways, like I said, I also caught Jaclyn Glenn's live stream. She did a live stream over at her own channel on her own thoughts on how the interview went with Chris Hansen. She said she would go back on, she said she was nervous. That's understandable. And, she was right. She was absolutely right. We've got to give props to these young women. What Chris Hansen did, criticized whatever errors and judgment some have alleged he have made, such as having Vincent Nicotra as his assistant, or whatever, say what you will. But Chris Hansen provided a platform for all these young women who had suffered after living with Onision. And in the case of Sarah, what makes this all the worse is that Sarah, if we know she was underage, she had a rather problematic family situation, for lack of a better term, to put it politely. And to have a family home life so bad that you feel the need to leave. And there's this fan, Onision or Kai. I think it was Kai, actually, that was reaching out to her first. Yeah, it was through Kai. So imagine these people, she moves in with them. Kai and Onision somehow get legal guardianship of this girl, only to groom her and do all that terrible stuff to her. Imagine you're trying to leave a bad family home life. You're thinking you're heading to safety and to better times, but it's not that at all. You know what I mean? Imagine that. And my heart does go out to Sarah because I can relate to a lot of her story. No, I never went to somebody's house like that. I ended up in group home, but it is the one thing I noticed, the common thread, when you live in a dysfunctional household, especially if there's abuse of any kind or neglect of any kind involved. I noticed with others like myself, we tended to fantasize what our new home would be like. Or sometimes we dream, of the big prince coming to rescue us. I know I had that dream too. So Sarah is a girl I could particularly relate to. Onision is going to be nasty in court. I feel for the victims who have to face him there. He's already trying to scare them off. Yeah, I know. And that looks like what he's trying to do with Chris Hansen and Repzion as well. It's funny, though, because Blair White, there's no mention of Blair White yet. Blair White, because if we remember, Blair White was also another one who she interviewed Sarah. She was interviewed by Chris Hansen. And she covered this story too. I don't know if it was on her main channel or on her second channel, Blair Black. Something to look into. But you never know. Onision could well add Blair White onto that list, But this is, he's trying to silence these people. And it's kind of, the irony here is shortly after I finished watching Jaclyn Glenn's live stream, one of her few parting words toward the end of the stream was she believed everybody should be talking about this. And I agree with her because it goes down to what I always say. Sunshine is the best disinfectant. Yes, it is. And sunshine is indeed the best disinfectant. So yeah, I agree. And then no sooner I go on Twitter 5 minutes later and I had Repzion's tweet staring right at me, right? Staring right at me, saying, I'm being sued. Chris Hansen and I are being sued. And, basically, like, I'll tell you this, not just because I'm in Canada, but if I were in the United States, I probably wouldn't change what I'm talking about. I wouldn't change my wording. Keep in mind, I learned a lesson too. When I was a political blogger, there was a former federal party operative that threatened to sue me once upon a time. And you know what? It didn't succeed. It didn't even get off the ground, So, and that was something I had to learn about, and that's when I learned that these types of suits are so rare in Canada that there is no Canadian lawyer that specializes in it. They starve. Yeah. But I don't think we've got to stop being afraid. And I'm glad that Chris Hansen had provided this platform on his channel for these young women who are ready to speak and ready to talk, who want to have their voices heard when otherwise their voices may never have been heard, Maybe, I hope it might have helped some of them. It might have been even therapeutic, helping them find some closure, try to find some peace. I really hope, for all of them, Shiloh, Sarah, Billy, Regina, etc., etc. Chris Hansen said Onision's call opened a can of worms in the stream that is somehow helpful. I wonder what he meant by that. Yeah, well, it looks like Chris Hansen is receiving more intel. What that is, I don't know yet. And I think, yeah, that's very true. Sky, his verse White hasn't come up to speak yet. Yeah, I'm not sure if Sky is going to speak. I'm sure Chris Hansen's people must have put out the invitation to her. It must also be, another one, another reminder, another one of Onision's victims of harassment, if you will, was Eugenia Cooney. If you remember, the young woman with the eating disorder who was actually had an intervention. Hey, fisherman. Yeah, it is a joke, isn't it? Yeah. It is a joke. It is comical. It also revealed that Onision is not the homeless waif that he likes us to think he is. He's not the homeless waif that he likes us to think he is. You're absolutely right. But, I hope, very skinny, Yeah, hit the thumbs up, kids, if you like this stream. And for those of you who are new here, welcome to Straight Talkin' Fedora Chick. Welcome to the middle of this. Her mother has been ever controlling. Yeah, I don't really want to get into too much of a discussion about Eugenia and this Cooney in this video, except to say I'm only mentioning her because if one remembers, Jaclyn Glenn and her friends did an intervention last year that led Eugenia Cooney to be 5150'd and subsequently put into a rehab facility to get help. And number two, that Eugenia Cooney apparently, Onision did some really sicko parodies of her. That's, this guy, like, he has no soul. Okay, if there is evil in the world, I believe that is it. He is one of them. You know what I mean? I believe that is it. I absolutely believe that is it, if there's one person who is evil. But I'm not going to talk about what he did in those videos because it's just that disgusting. But they are still up and still monetized, apparently, from what I hear at last check. But yeah, he would parody her. Now, as far as I know, it doesn't look like Eugenia Cooney is willing to be interviewed by Chris Hansen at this time. I do know that Jaclyn Glenn did allude to a friend who she was trying to get help for, and Onision, in his own right, being Onision, tried to put a kibosh on trying to get that help for that friend. One could easily infer that it's Eugenia Cooney, but perhaps for legal reasons also that Jaclyn cannot mention her by name, and maybe Jaclyn could be talking about somebody else, but I think it's not such a far leap to suggest that she was indeed referring to Eugenia Cooney because she had been relentlessly harassed by Onision. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Fisherman. Yeah, exactly. Eugenia Cooney comes off, she seems like a really sweet kid, She has an eating disorder. She has her issues like a lot of people do, and what he did with her, was just despicable. And according to Jaclyn Glenn, it appeared that he tried to hamper in that help. Keeping in mind, let's remember Jaclyn Glenn referred to a friend. She didn't mention her by name. She did not mention her by name. But however, just my opinion, and I think a lot of other people's opinions too, according to the live chat on the side, I think many could infer that she may well have been talking about Eugenia Cooney. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know. His parodies are gross. I know. It's almost like, Onision doesn't want Jaclyn Glenn to be involved or happy with anybody or anybody for that matter. The weird thing about Greg is he views everything as just one big show, entertainment. Anyway, he writes off as him trolling for a parody. He actually believes his own lies. Scary individual. Absolutely right. You're absolutely right. He is this one scary individual. Yeah, that is one scary individual. Absolutely right. So it is, yeah, he is. You look at his eyes. You see the close-up on the camera, especially on those fake meltdown videos. Those eyes look vacant, okay? Those eyes of his, they look vacant. They're ice cold. And, pretty much soulless. Like there's no soul behind there. Excuse me. Sorry. Excuse me. So there's almost like there's no soul behind there. You know what I mean? Yeah. I agree with you, Marina. Oh, shoot. Hang on. I got the hiccups. Hang on. I've got the hiccups. Hopefully that'll work. Okay. So, that's my opinion. Despite the threat of the lawsuits, I think Chris Hansen is going to continue anyway. Will Repzion continue to make videos? That I'm not sure. It sounds like he's going to be concentrating on trying to get himself some legal representation from what I've seen on Twitter. We'll have to wait. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I don't think either. I don't think anybody, but this is a tactic. I think another tactic Onision is using to try to get himself off the hook from any potential criminal charges. Let's launch a civil suit on, on YouTubers who cover him. I remember one of his fake meltdown videos a while back. I know. I'd laugh if he tried to sue. Well, Fisherman, you're in Canada too, aren't you? If I'm not mistaken. You're in Canada too. It's almost impossible to sue us in Canada. Yeah. Agreed, Marina. Yeah, they do look that way. Sorry, I don't think I can use that word on YouTube either. The S word, but I know what you mean. Yeah. You're in Canada too. Yeah, it's near impossible to sue us, Fisherman. It's near impossible. Look. I remember when that political operative threatened to sue me when I had my blog running, okay? Didn't work. I'm not going to mention his name either because I don't want him coming back to haunt me. But Fisherman, I can tell you who it is on a private DM and Discord if you want later. I can tell you who it was. But yeah, how many words? I'm more worried about YouTube striking my channel down because I've got to mind my P's and Q's to the point. It's not just the swearing, it's the freaking other words. Do you know there's even a state that you're not allowed to mention on YouTube? Yeah, I don't know what state it is, but there's a state that's one of the verboten words of YouTube. Yeah. So yeah, it's like, but back to the meltdowns. I mean, there was a couple of the fake meltdowns. We all know they're fake now. Where Onision claiming that if anybody gave a dislike to his videos or anybody slagged his videos on Twitter, he would sue each and every one of us. Oh, geez. He must be racking the lawsuits on negs. Must be. Oh, is that what it is, Lily? That too? It's not even just the swear words, Lily. It's other words. It's like I can't mention, yeah. Oh, Lisa. Yeah. And somebody has also suggested another state that begins with the letter A. Yeah, somebody mentioned another state that begins with the letter A. Yeah. But yeah, it's gotten insane. Even the theme I'm talking about, most of the words that I want to use, I can't use them or I'm too afraid to use them. This is it. I am more afraid of having some kind of strike on my channel than being sued by Onion Boy. Know what I'm saying? So yeah, but as news comes out, like I said, this is an important topic to me because, I've always been a victim's, I've always been like an unofficial. I'm not part of any formal organization. I've always considered myself to be a lone wolf, but I am a victim's rights advocate. There are people who do come to me on an individual basis and I help them to resources. I have lived many similar experiences that a lot of these young women had endured, allegedly, under Onision. Yeah, I know they have a YouTube Kids. Yeah, I know. My channel is not art. Definitely, my 19-year-old said the same thing. She can't stand him and knew he was not right for years. She is not surprised. Marina, you're lucky your daughter was onto that smart. Do you know how many young women? I'm not going to say they were not smart, but naivete that goes with being a kid. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say not, but the naivete. Usually a lot of kids are lonely. A lot of kids, young women are lonely. They might be picked on at school. Maybe neglected at home. We know Sarah had a problematic family home life. Life in the family home. How many would jumped at it, or how many young girls with a very low self-esteem probably would have sent him his pictures and go have at it, and then Onion Boy in turn would do a video saying X, Y, and Z, everything is wrong with this girl. And that is sick. Like, what a sick effing, you know? I was on this forum, can confirm. I was on his forum, can confirm weird stuff that went down there. Oh, really? Artastic Creations. Well, I'm glad you're here. Well, I was always glad you're here. I'm glad everybody's here. Same with me, which is why I always turn to shady people for a time. And same here, Lily. I mean, I think a lot of us are guilty for that. You know, it's a fact, you know, sometimes if we're, you know, alienated or marginalized in society, we would turn to such people, you know, we would turn to such people, groomers. Yes, adults can be groomed too. I was groomed recently, you know, adults can be groomed too. Granted, this is something that happens mainly with younger girls who have a lot less life experience under them, who tend to be more vulnerable. But yes, it happens to adults. Irate Alex over at his channel alluded to himself having been groomed very recently in his own life. Yeah. And I was down a negative. My 19-year-old used to game live online with her Xbox and PlayStation, but he stopped years ago because people online gaming are wild. I've heard that, Marina. I've absolutely heard that. Lily says, and I was down a negative for a time. Yeah, I get that. You know. You know what? It's okay to be negative sometimes. You know, sometimes your situation, you could be in a situation where there's absolutely no positive about it. There's a period in your life where there are no positives, you know, and I think that needs to be validated. You know, I think that does. But again, I'm getting sidetracked once again. And this is a future video I plan to do, actually, talking about that. So anyways, back to the topic at hand, and I'm almost done. We have been on for almost an hour. So yeah, so basically, yeah, the 911 call was pretty much a giveaway. You know, he gave up. We know he was not homeless. And furthermore, Mike Morse went to this hotel in Tacoma where Onision was supposedly filming all those homeless videos. He's homeless. I filmed maybe a few Airbnbs in the Tacoma area. Because it appears that Onision filmed way ahead of time, because when the lawyer went, when those supposed videos came out, Mike Morse I'm referring to, of course, that Onision was nowhere to be found in the area or in the hotel. Yeah. So anyways, just to recap everything we were talking about. So yeah. So the Onision 911 call was telling. No, it was not doxing. This is what journalists do. Chris Hansen didn't break any laws. And evidence of that would be that the local police did not remove Chris Hansen or his crew. They did not rush them off or escort them off or away or whisk them away or anything like that. They were not asked to leave by the police. So no, there was no stalking happening. You know, Onision's life was never in danger. Onision himself would know that. And another thing, when Onision said that his name was not Greg, I have a feeling that if Chris Hansen called him James or called him whatever, Onision would still give a different name. Because like I mentioned, Onision changes his name faster than most of us change clothes. Okay? So yeah, the 911 call is very telling. I really hope that Repzion manages to prevail, and hopefully this lawsuit never sees the light of day for Repzion and Chris Hansen. I personally believe Chris Hansen will continue going on with have a seat with Chris Hansen. He's going to continue doing what he's doing. I can't speak for Repzion. I don't really know him. I don't really follow his channel. I just know of him. And another thing about that, oh, you looked it up, Lisa. Oh, wow. You looked it up. The state. Yeah, the state. The verboten state we can't mention on YouTube. I was by my stepfather when I was younger. Nobody believed me until the rape kit was done and all went to court. So I totally understand what the girls went through with it. I am so sorry you had to go through that, Fluffy. I am really sorry. Nobody deserves that. And I can certainly relate. I was on the forum to get information to share in relevant places. I have never liked Greg, but I have heard all sorts of stuff there. Weird, toxic environment. Fans would dox anyone they didn't like. Yeah, that's still apparently happening. The potato state. Yeah. Why? A state that is known for growing potatoes. Yes, those evil potatoes. Does that mean Prince Edward Island, the Canada's smallest province, which is also known for growing potatoes? Are they off limits? Is Prince Edward Island off limits to YouTube? I don't know. Yeah. What does Susan hate about potatoes? I don't know. Maybe she went keto. Maybe she went keto or low carb. Yeah. I knew Onion is bad news ever since the JP Mets called out Onion for accusing Shay Carl Oh, I see. Thank you, Marina King. It's hilarious, LOL. I know. Maybe Prince Edward Island is also verboten. I guess I'll find out soon enough. Because that's another, like I said, that's a Canadian province that's also known for growing potatoes. Those evil, nasty potatoes. My favorite starchy vegetable. Yes, that was 210. I can't vibe with people who have a beef with potatoes. Ha! Neither can I, okay? I'm a fan of Dr. John McDougall's The Starch Solution. Okay, and I'm a vegan, so yeah, I love my potatoes. I love me spuds. Okay, I love me spuds. But yeah, maybe Susan is keto. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe she's keto. But anyways, like I was saying, So yeah, the 911 call. I think there's more about to come out. I hope people are not going to be afraid to come out and speak out. And meantime, Jaclyn Glenn pointed out something that bears mentioning, that as long as he still has a platform, because Onision, that's how he lured these women. It was through Lily. It was through his YouTube platform. This is how he do it. That's how he orchestrated the whole thing. It was through his YouTube platform. So he still has a platform. He's still monetized. His videos have not been struck down as far as I know, except as far as I know. So who else, who's to say he and Kai will not pull this crap again? What next? Who would there be a next unsuspecting victim? Yes, they're under the microscope now under Chris Hansen and other YouTubers and others on social media, but what, these type of people can find other ways, other ways than their conventional ways, so Jaclyn Glenn is right because I share the same concern that she has. Hey, Candace, that's okay. That's okay. Candace, I keep these streams up so you can catch it from the very beginning. So, yeah, good of you to join, Candace. Great. So, it's, So I think, I hope more will come out. I think there are more, and I hope more do come out to speak out. Like I said, I'm not sure if Sky is going to come out. Word has it Eugenia Cooney has no desire to talk to Chris Hansen, and that is her right. That is her wish. We should respect that. It's going to be up. You can't mention a potato state, yet Onion Boy can do this BS. What the WTF? You're absolutely right, Fisherman. You're absolutely right. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. Like this whole thing, and it is a sordid mess. It is chaotic. Can you all excuse me 2 seconds while I get some water? Hang on. Just 2 seconds while I get some water. Okay, sorry about that. I'm really sorry about that. It's because I'm dealing with the hiccups and a dry throat at the same time. Sorry, TMI, I know. But just giving you an explanation why I couldn't wait for the water. Okay. So yeah, I don't smoke enough. That's the thing. So yeah, I was trying to recap. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, we'll see about. Thanks, Fluff. Thank you. So, anyways, as I was saying, yeah. So, Jaclyn Glenn is a woman that has a head on her shoulders. She is very well spoken. Like I said, I don't always agree with everything she says or does, but I have to give her props. I have to give her credit where credit is due. She handled herself very well on Chris Hansen, and in her own live stream, she's very articulate, very bright, very well spoken. I will leave links to the interview and her live stream for those who want to catch that, as well as Neg's video of the 911 call, because that's what I used. That's what I shared. That's the screen I shared earlier. So just to give credit where it's due. Yeah. I keep saying I'm losing my words. I'm stuttering. Oh, God. This happens to me often. Those who followed me for a while know this happens to me often, right? Yeah. I'm not sure if the other girl was like hired help watching kids or something, but apparently there was another girl there when Chris knocked on the door. Yeah, I heard the same thing, Artastic. I heard the same thing, yeah. Yeah, Candice, you're absolutely right. Jaclyn Glenn is very poised. I just subscribed to her channel because she's so poised, so well spoken, a very bright. One doesn't have to agree with everything she says or does, but she is well spoken, and she did bring her points across very well. Same in her aftermath live stream last night. So I'm gonna link that in a pinned comment once I jump off the stream as well. My screen is freezing again. Can you all hear and see me? Okay, because I just had my computer just froze. Can you Yeah, she did have a lot of info, Lily. She did. Absolutely. She did have a lot of info. Absolutely. So, anyways, back to what I was saying. Yeah, I was trying to recap what I was saying. So, yeah. The word stalking, like I said, Onision using the word lightly again, but I think a lot of people use the term lightly, but that's a separate video for another time, because I kind of lived through a personal experience. I was accused of stalking someone in my personal life, or rather stalking his car, but that's another video for another time, so that's what I meant. Because I think that's a word, and the problem with overusing words like that is actual victims could be overlooked. You know what I mean? And this is what scares me sometimes about words being overused, It's freezing. Oh, hi, Ruth. Good to see you. Good to see you, Ruth. Yeah, it's freezing all over YouTube today. Oh, dear. Well, I know we're having a blizzard here in Montreal. We're having ourselves a little snowstorm. I don't know how many so I don't know. Okay, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna be getting off the stream very shortly anyway, because it's been about an hour. But if the stream cuts off abruptly because we're having a blizzard, it's not because I'm rude. It's because we're having a blizzard and the power could be knocked out. So I'd like to hear what you all have to say. What do you all have to say? Like, and like I said, back to what I said, I think it's great that Chris Hansen provided a platform for all these victims, or we should say alleged victims, for legal reasons, right? Evening, I think the servers are needing more hamster food to keep the wheels turning. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Old technology, eh, Ruth? Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think it's great that, a platform for these young women that come on like Billy, like Shiloh and Sarah, Regina, Ayala, I sorry if I'm mispronouncing her name, all those other young women, they can finally tell their story. They can finally, hopefully, I hope it brings them closure. I hope they manage to start finding some peace, honestly, because what they went through, nobody deserved that. Nobody. Yeah, he is, Yeah, absolutely, Candace. Yeah, and you're right. And that's the other thing, Jaclyn Glenn alluded to, and she's not the first. And here, the elephant in the room here, we know Onision is involved. Oh, gotta say alleged. But nobody really talks about Kai, you know? Um, and I think the best way to describe Kai, I've caught flack for this online. Kind of reminds me of Lizzie Borden. I mean, I know he didn't commit murder. Okay, Lizzie Borden did commit murder, if anybody remembers their history, on that. But he kind of does. He starts off as a victim, right? He was lured in by Onision Boy, Onision, when he was underage, or when I don't know the spouse. I don't know how to. I don't. Yeah, exactly. Hiding. Thank you. Yes, Avanora. Oh, Avanora. I don't think I've seen you here before. Welcome to Straight Talkin' Fedora Chick. I'm glad you stopped by. Yeah. I think Onion should be in jail, and these girls will get their closure, and that's what they need at this point. This has gone on far too long. Yeah, Fluffy, you're right. And unfortunately, it's not going to happen right away. Like, if the FBI or local law enforcement in Washington, in that town in Washington State where Onision lives, has him on their radar, it is my wish to see him face a court and a jury and a judge and a jail cell potentially in 2020. It is one of my wishes, yeah. But I don't think it's going to be right away. I think it's going to be long. I think there is more to come out. Chris Hansen and both Chris Hansen and lawyer Mike Morse have alluded as much, that there is more to come out. So it's kind of like a stay tuned. I believe Kai was 15 when they met Greg. Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah, so Kai could have, when he was Laney at the time, he was Laney Bot, might have started off as one of his victims or alleged victims, but he did become a willing participant. If anybody goes back in history, let me look here, and I'll show you why. Hang on. Stockholm Syndrome, definitely, but I think worse than Stockholm Syndrome. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Oh, God. I hope he never gets out. Well, you and me both. Me too, apparently. Absolutely. Oh, yes. I think there's a ton more to come. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Candace. Yeah, like I said, Mike Morse and Chris Hansen did allude to as much. Yeah. And I truly believe that there is more to come. I think that's partly the reason why Onision has chosen to launch his, drop the gauntlet and launch his lawsuit in Washington State against Chris Hansen and Repzion, aka Daniel Solpak. I hope I'm not butchering his name, honestly, because I really don't mean to. Will he find other respondents to sue? Maybe Blair White. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Avanora, anybody know what James is saying he's suing Repzion for? No, I didn't see that. All I know, Repzion put out the tweet. When I first turned on Twitter, just after watching Jaclyn Glenn's live, I decided to go check my Twitter feed, and there it was at the top, Repzion saying that he and Chris Hansen were being sued by Onision. Yeah, I have no idea what exactly the suit is. What's he charging them with? It is civil court. It appears to be civil court, though, not criminal court. It appears to be civil court. Yeah. So anyways, like I said, I hope Repzion and others are not deterred. I honestly hope they're not deterred. Like I said, I'm not familiar. I know these kind of suits are way easier in the United States than they are here in Canada. But I honestly hope that a judge in a Washington state court is not going to entertain it. I hope it drops, honestly, because to me, even though it sounds like to me it's a nonsense suit. Yeah. It was on Twitter this morning, Candace. It was just Repzion. I put it out there on Twitter this just earlier this morning. This is a brand new development. Yeah. Yeah, you're right, R2. Yeah, that could be artastic. It could be. Absolutely. It could be. Yeah. So anyways, I've pretty much given my take on it. I think more is to come. I hope nobody is deterred by the potential lawsuits. I hope Repzion is not deterred. I hope, I mean, I would like to see Sky also be interviewed, but I'm sure she's been invited, like I said. Oh, and another thing that's pretty telltale, if Onision wanted to clear his, and I'm going to leave you with this on that discussion. If Onision wanted to clear his name, two things stand out. Number one, earlier on when Chris Hansen first started interviewing all these people on Have a Seat with Chris Hansen, he did send an email inviting Onision to tell his side, as a responsible journalist would do. But Onision or Onision's handlers demanded $350,000. Now, of course, Chris Hansen and his people are not going to pay that. I don't think anybody would. Philip DeFranco also offered a platform for Onision to come and tell his story, but he or his handlers charged Philip DeFranco or Philip DeFranco's people the bargain basement price of $10,000. And that night, for him to do that 911 call when Chris Hansen was at the door, you would think, Chris Hansen is easily recognizable. Anybody can remember him from the days back on Dateline. Calling 911 is not a good look if you're trying to clear your name. You would think you would open that door, or you would agree to call or somehow communicate somehow and say, let's meet at a Greasy Spoon. Let's meet at the local diner in the area and talk about it, Like, I'm not saying Onision necessarily has to invite him in the house to clear his name, but maybe meet somewhere neutral, like at a diner or somewhere, You would think somebody who would be in a hurry to clear his name, and those are serious charges, but the evidence seems to be mounting and piling. You would think if he wanted to clear his name, he would have actually not called 911 and actually agreed to speak with Chris Hansen or Mike Morse or whatever, even if he had to seek counsel from an attorney. But even then, it's not a good look. It's just not a good look. You're right, Ruth. It is outrageous. I'd be interested to see Adrian interviewed, his girlfriend he had before getting back with Shiloh. Oh, I forgot about Adrian. Yeah. It was ridiculous. He sounded, yeah, I know, huh? It's all an act. He sounded terrified. Yeah, it's all an act. I know very few faces, but Chris Hansen, I know his face. I think most of us know Chris Hansen's face by now, Ruth. I really do. Yeah, I really do. You're going away. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to jump off this stream very shortly, Lily, myself. I'm going to be jumping off this stream. I have been on for an hour and 20 minutes, and I've pretty much said what I want to say. It's at this point, I pretty much interact with the chat, everybody in the live chat who's still around for the next few minutes. For those of you, Lily, I hope you're still around. Tonight, I come back live on my channel, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. Lisa Duncan, who is in the live chat, holding it armed and dangerous with a blue wrench, is going to be collabing with me. We are going to be discussing life with chronic illness from our point of view, our personal experiences, more specifically, preconceived misconceptions that society or people have toward us. We're going to be debunking some myths. So that's at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern. You don't want to miss that. Lisa Duncan will be on screen with yours truly. Yeah. Yeah, she'll be on screen with yours truly. Absolutely. Yep. So you don't want to miss that. Oh yeah, Marina, I hope you do. Yeah, I think most who follow both Lisa's and my channels can relate to it, and that's why, I think we can all relate. Yeah, but I guess, thank you. Okay, see you later, Fluffy. I hope to see you tonight. Okay, Fluffy, I hope to see you tonight. Okay, for those who are interested, I have a new Discord server. I am going to put the link in the description box to my Discord server. Come and join us and meet some awesome people. We are a month in and already we're having fun. So here is the link to my Discord server. You will also find it in the description box. Okay, once again, for the obnoxious, shameless e-begging portion, if you wish to support the channel, you may do so by either checking me out on Patreon or by PayPal. Links are in the chat, also in the description box. Thank you very much. Okay, so like I said, you don't want to miss that. Saturday afternoon, Captain Fish, he was in earlier. I don't know if he's still around. Captain Fish will be collabing with me Saturday afternoon. We're going to be doing a fun, lively live stream. We're going to be stepping outside of my usual content, okay, and do something completely unoriginal, but fun and cringeworthy at the same time. We are going to be reacting to the weirdest food that's seen on the internet and some very weird mukbangs. That's what Captain Fish and I are going to be doing Saturday afternoon. Saturday afternoon. Saturday afternoon. Sorry, I keep mixing my days up. But tonight, like I said, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern. Join Lisa and myself here at this channel. So I'm going to bid you all adieu. I'm going to bid you all adieu for now. Catch you all tonight. And thank you, new people. Please give it a thumbs up on the way out the door. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. And hit the bell thing. I know, useless. Many people don't get notifications, but do it anyway. You never know. One day it might work. So, straight talking Fedora Chick over and out for now. Catch you all later tonight.